All right. So we just started recording a little late, but I was just about to ask, what is well, we've been talking about how unique Sunrider is and how simple it is and how you eat a meal, you have a New Plus is 15 plants and a Quinary is, well, it's about 43 plants. And then you have a Fortune Delight and a Sun Care. So now you're 60 plants or 65 plants. And then you have a sport caps or, you pretty soon it's easy to be over 100 plants and you're getting all these varieties of plants and different colors of plants and different types of plants that, like you've got your legumes and your fruits and vegetables and then you got all the different flavors of foods and all that comes into balance and creating this balance. And like Dr. Chin would say about you're feeding the body. He said it's kind of like a house. You've got a bathroom and a living room and a kitchen. And he says your body needs different raw materials depending on what system. It's not just one thing looks after everything. And this is another thing the Chinese figured out for 5,000 years. And we just eat it. And we just know when we have Quinary and New Plus and everything, we're satisfied. Our cravings are better and we start being happier and we just feel better. And so we've been talking about that. And so I was just going to ask the question is, what two products, if you could only have two, what would they be? So I'll ask Diana, I'm looking at you, so I'm going to ask you first. What two products you just could not live without?
Oh, okay. Beauty Pearl definitely is number one because that works on the hormones. And I went from being, just having so many mood swings years and years ago. And within 2 weeks, I stopped having mood swings. And I even find now, sometimes I'll go a week or so without a Beauty Pearl, just as an experiment, or because I run out and I haven't ordered. And I notice that I'm more irritable. I'm just not balanced. I need that one Beauty Pearl a day. It makes all the difference for my moods. So that has to be my favorite. And oh my goodness. Well, Cali, I can't go a day without Cali. And that got me off the 8 cups of coffee a day and provides really a natural, calm energy. And so those will be my two, Beauty Pearl and Cali tea.
Okay. And who else would like to go?
Protein Plus and Quinary. Before Protein Plus, of course, it was New Plus, took away all my cravings. Now we just can't live without Protein Plus. The energy we get from it, the feelings of being satisfied. We're just not hungry, and we're doing like, I use 1 scoop a day at breakfast, and I think you do half a scoop at breakfast and half a scoop later.
Yep.
So we're really only doing 1 scoop a day, and just so satisfied, and the energy.
It's taken my energy level up another notch, even though I've been eating Sunrider for 30 years. So I'm really appreciating it.
And the Quinary, you can't touch the Quinary for the physical and emotional balance that you get from it. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you using the New Plus along with the other protein powder?
Yeah, I have a New Plus and a Sunfit Protein Plus for breakfast, and then I just go like type 1 diabetic going on 56 years, and that just keeps me humming along. And then I work out around 1 o'clock, and I always make sure and test my blood sugar. Sometimes I need a slice of organic spelt bread with almond butter on it, but it's only for my blood sugar. It's not because I'm hungry. That Protein Plus and New Plus just keeps me humming all day long.
Okay, who's next? Top 2 products. I'm going to pick one of you if you don't volunteer.
You can go first.
Okay, I'll go. Oh, I'll go after you. Go ahead.
Just go ahead, Linda. I'll get Peggy in there in a minute.
Okay. When Jim first asked me this question, I was actually quite irritated because there's so many products that we use that I really don't feel like I can live without. But I would have to say probably the Beauty Pearl is definitely one of them. That's kind of the tweak that I needed for helping the anxiety part of it. that much more. And it is so hard to choose. I'd say one of my favorites is the probably the Fortune Delight. I really enjoy the Fortune Delight.
Yeah.
It just really helps. I've noticed in the morning when I'm exercising, if I drink a Fortune Delight as I'm exercising or right after, it's like it just immediately gives me energy, and it just really does something for me. I'm not quite sure what it's, other than just more energy, maybe a little more focus. And can I say one more?
All right, one more. In your case, we'll give you a third.
The ease.
The ease.
I have to have that ease too. That's helped me tremendously to be able to sleep at night. It's amazing.
Yeah, everybody's got their own little thing, you
Yeah.
know, and we all eat the basic foods, Quinary, New Plus,
Yeah.
Cali Fortune, Sun Care, but we got these extra things we've just got to have.
Yeah.
Now, Peggy or Lauren, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was. My favorite two are New Plus and Fortune. Partly because they were the first products that Marilyn got us started on, but also it was I think the key component in getting my health and my weight under control.
And you guys you guys are half the size of what you used to be.
Yeah, between the two of us, we're looking at 90 to 100 pounds.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so not quite half, but a lot. Good for you. And you've kept it off now. So it's what, 2 years?
Well, I kept most of it off. This last spring and summer it's not a year to try and remember. I wound up putting a little bit back on, but it's coming back off again.
Good for you guys.
Yeah, and I'm New Plus and Fortune Delight. The New Plus took away my cravings for chocolate, which just still amazes me, and it fills me up and just feels good. And the Fortune Delight, just when I drink that, I just feel wonderful.
Yeah, and you're talking about Fortune Delight with Sun Care in it, right?
Yes, I usually have some.
Yeah. That's the third one. So for me, it's like, wow, if I only get two, like it couldn't be one because I got to have my Fortune Delight with my Sun Care or vice versa. But yeah, there's so many products I can't imagine. If you think in the future, it's like, oh, what if I was in an old folks home and I couldn't have my Sunrider? It's like, oh my God, it just makes you want to work harder so you would never, ever, ever have to do that. When I got hurt, it's like I really increased my Meta Booster, and I'm glad I had some because I know it's out of stock right now. And Sport Caps and Joy for my, Joy is kind of for the nervous system from the neck down, but it's also for joy. And we often kind of think it's for bones too, but anyways, but the Meta Booster really increases healing. And of course, Sport Caps, anytime anybody gets injured, anything to do with muscle, get them on 5 Sport Caps twice a day.
But New Plus is great too when you have an injury or you've been working out hard or digging in the garden. I used to just come in and have a scoop of New Plus after, and that makes such a big difference in how sore you are too. I mean, the New Plus does so many different things.
It does. Dauphin was doing a 10 days on Facebook where she talked something different about New Plus every day. I think that's what she was doing. Anyways, I caught the New Plus days. Every ingredient is specifically, it's just on purpose, right? And then Dr. Chin knows exactly how to treat that herb and how to extract it and how to combine it with others. And yeah. And I remember we were pretty big skiers when we were younger, and we'd always get really stiff and stuff. And just drinking Cali and Fortune, we'd go to, skiing. We always go for a week, and we'd always have to soak in the hot tub or whatever. But when we started Cali and Fortune, all of a sudden we kept expecting to be stiff, but it never happened. It was so much more efficient at flushing lactic acid. So.
Well, Doug and I, we've been doing some heavy work this fall again with wood and everything, and he likes to say, well, he goes to bed really exhausted, and he's always amazed in the morning how much his body can regenerate just overnight and how he can get up and keep going again. And he is 76. So, I mean, I think he's doing amazingly well with the workload he carries. And
how much illness he had,
oh, yeah. I mean, he came back, 22 years ago from the doctors giving up on him and not expecting him to live. And now at 76, he's doing still all this, a lot of heavy work. And he still likes to have his afternoon nap. But I think he's entitled to that at this stage.
Oh, gosh, yeah. No, exactly. Does anybody else want to comment on our subject? Okay, I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to share my screen.
Just had a question.
Yeah.
Joy, would Joy be good for sore joints at night? Like to take at night to help regenerate?
Joy would. Your best product for joints is glucosamine, which Siberian ginseng, I think, is one of the best sources of that. So in other words, you're lubricating your joints, and the first ingredient of sport caps is Siberian ginseng. Or you could take Siberian ginseng by itself. But just by having sport caps, it really makes a difference to lubrication. It helps lubricate tendons, strengthens tendons, and lubricates joints.
And I think Siberian ginseng is in the Joy, right, Jim?
It is. It is. I'm pretty sure. I know White Willowbark is. I told a story on this document I've been working on, and Trisha's been helping me edit it. And it's called the three main reasons people will never really feel good, and that's physically and mentally. And one of them is food sensitivities. I'll just tell you the three. The first one is expecting big changes with single results. So it's looking for the wonder pill and supplement or whatever is going to fix all your problems, but it's a lack of all these fruits and vegetables we're talking about in your diet every day. And the second one is food sensitivities. And I met this gal years ago. She was a neighbor of mine, and she was probably in her late 60s. I don't think she was in her 70s. But she was kind of hunched over, and she was you could tell she was really stiff and a lot of pain. And she took these little steps, and I'd see her working around in her garden and stuff. And I had a chance to meet her at a neighbor's. They had a barbecue, invited us all over. And so we get talking right away, and she goes, "Oh, you're the health guy. I've heard about you." And we just chatted away a little bit. And then I asked her, I said, I didn't ask her. I just said, let me guess. I'm going to guess what your diet kind of consists of. And I said, tomatoes, potatoes, and wine. And she's like, how'd you guess? And I was like, well, I've been around a while. And if she's an O blood type, and it doesn't even have to be an O blood type, but O blood types with tomatoes and potatoes and wine, you're going to hurt. And if you do them every day, you're going to hurt a lot. And you can start developing things like arthritis and whatnot. So if someone has achy joints, they probably need to get a vitality analysis done to figure out what their food sensitivities are. That's what I would suggest. And along with Cali Fortune, Sport Cap, Siberian Ginseng to help lubricate those joints. And hopefully things will get better. So that's what I suggest.
Thank you.
Any comments? Any questions about that?
I don't know if everybody was on the last call when I talked about the Meta Booster and Ray's recovery. I don't know. Should I say it again, Ray? Jim, this is I find it quite astounding. Like Ray doctors really messed him up big time with surgery back in 2012 and cut him from stem to stern and cut his muscle. So he hasn't been able to do sit-ups or hold his tummy in or anything for years. And then we started on the Meta Booster about three months ago, and we just do 5 caps a day, once a day. And all of a sudden he can do sit-ups and he's holding his tummy in. So that was 8 years later, and the body, when you give the body the right food, the body is able to go in and heal those cut muscles. So that Meta Booster really is quite an amazing food as well.
It is. It is. Anyone that I've ever told, that's been injured, get on Meta Booster. And they always like it. It's very rare that they don't notice anything. Very rare. It's so great for energy too. So I'm just going to show you something. I've been working on all this stuff, programs and marketing things, and so many things, long days. And one of the things I had to do is come up with a new presentation. And I don't know if Trisha remembers this or not, but Barb and I do. So in the very beginning, I wanted to do Sunrider and I wanted to do the business, but there was like so many different versions of New Plus or like information on all these things. And there was a stack about, 6 inches high or probably 6 inches high. So Wanda went away for a weekend and I inhaled all this information and I sorted it out of the, one sheet on this and, and I wound up with a nice little stack of paper about 1/4 inch high. And I thought, okay, I could work with this. Some little bit of information on the business. And I went and did, I took some of magazines and different things and I cut out pictures and stuff. And it was all cut and paste and Jiffy marker and tape. And that's how you built presentations back in the 80s. And that was 88. And so it worked out to 13 pages long, my first presentation. And we went out and just presented to people. And people loved it. It was simple, right? And we just shared our story. And the story was like, I was feeling lousy and I had a terrible digestion and I had this actually an autoimmune condition that kind of had surfaced. And with this white on my neck, I realized that when I was about 18, I looked in the mirror one day and I had a white spot about the size of a dime. And brain fog and fatigue and I was trying all the health food store stuff and mom was a health nut. She had closets full of stuff. Of course, she was always experimenting on me and none of it ever worked. And so I started eating these foods from China and all of a sudden I'm feeling better. My cravings are better. I'm more satisfied and that changed my life. And so it was really as simple as that. And then I realized that there was a great opportunity because everybody needs to feel better. And I didn't want to just work for the rest of my life. I wanted to stay home and watch my kids grow up. We wanted to move to BC. We had some dreams. And so I decided that this business, I just couldn't lose. So that was kind of my story. And it was simple, sweet, to the point. And then I kind of moved into the presentation. Now this presentation has more than 13 pages, but not many. And so the Chinese spent 5,000 years researching the human body and learning how to support it nutritionally. So Dr. Chin grew up and mastered the art of herbal science. So he grew up, his grandfather was a herbalist, and they got all these, his grandfather had these manuscripts from these 5,000 years of research by the Chinese. And so he started Sunrider in 1982, and they expanded into more than 40 countries, right? And he insisted on having his own manufacturing, doing everything himself. Because he said, if you hire someone else to do it for you, they're just going to steal your secrets. And if you hire someone else to do it for you, how do you know? And he used to give this example of like, if you hire a translator to speak another language that you don't know, he goes, how do you know? How do you know what they're saying? You just don't. So he insisted if he was going to have this strong legacy company, he had to own everything of his own. And so the Chin family, they started updating this company, and a lot of us built businesses and all over the world, and it's just the best thing that ever happened to a lot of us. And they started updating the company. The kids all joined their parents in business, and they started updating the company in 2017. And they just announced new construction of a 1 million square feet facility in Texas, which will be completed in 2021. And we've got these amazing products. There's over 400. And a really great one that I like to start people on is the Top Love Pack. It's got a bit of beverages, a bit of food, and a bit of personal care, and some of these other cool products we have. And then there's the basic foods, and it's like the 80-20 rule that 80% of your volume comes from 20% of your product, and it pretty well fits into every scenario. And our basic program is still the favorites, of most people because they're just so balancing. And we love all the products, but a lot of us use these core products. We just couldn't live without them, of nourish, balance, and cleanse. And there's personal care. Like I could tell you stories about every one of these products, like even the fruit and vegetable rinse, which is such an innocent little product. I use it for stinky garbage cans. I use it for stinky running shoes. I use it to clean around the house. I use it to wash the dog. I use it for fruit and vegetables. And, it neutralizes the chemicals on food. And it's edible. So people gargle with it if they are coming down with a sore throat. It's such a universal, product. And the toothpaste is amazing. Every product that Dr. Chin makes, it's going to be amazing. And so, as I mentioned, there's 400 products. We don't have all those products in Canada, but I just took a snapshot of some of my favorite products. And there's a bit of personal care. There's some skincare, there's beverages, there's foods. There's just foods that I just couldn't live without. Even the cleaners. And Sunrider uses network marketing. And like I've said to people for years is that a lot of Sunriders get so excited about the products, they just want to talk about the products all the time. But to me, network marketing is exciting as the products are, because I wouldn't have found out about Sunrider if it wasn't for network marketing. And neither would any of you guys. You might have seen an ad or whatever. Maybe they put it in grocery stores or something, but you get your best explanation if it's network marketing. So you get independent distributors who go out and build relationships and establish trust. And people don't listen to advertising anymore, so it works way better if it's being explained by someone. And IBO's, just like you and me, stands for independent business owner. We build relationship, and as I mentioned, establish trust. And we can work with customers, we can build teams. It's totally up to us. And we get to build businesses and have freedom and peace of mind. And today, peace of mind is the new success. People are so stressed out. And I want to just show you this 3-year plan. And this is what I always use to show people the potential of duplication. So the first question is how much would you spend every month on products that change your life? So you add these foods into your life and they make you feel better, and you start replacing your beverages. And you just think beverages alone, people spend so much money on coffee, and nothing good ever comes from coffee. And foods, you start eating New Plus and you're just satisfied. You tend to eat less heavy foods. And I found myself in the beginning, I was spending about $150, but I was saving that most of that money. I noticed in the beginning, it's like, oh, $150. And, this is back in the 80s, but I didn't want to live without it. And I would quit and I'd start. And after a while, I realized, like when I have a New Plus, my cravings are better for a whole bunch of things. So you not only feel better, but you're spending less money on other things. And it works with the skincare, it works there, right across the whole line of products. So the average person, what would you say you'd spend per month? So let's say Peggy and Lauren, what would you guys spend per month?
Well, we started off with about $100 a month and quickly moved up to $200. Now we probably spend about $500 a month.
And so you've replaced enough things. Is it really costing you a lot more than what you were spending before by the time you factor in?
It's costing us a little bit more, but it makes us feel better and we're more alert and awake and healthier. So we have long-lived families, so we need to stay healthy for a very long time yet. Yeah.
And another thing you factor in is how much more productive you are. So you can make more money. And then when you factor in, like the toothpaste and things, where all of a sudden you don't spend near as much money on cleanings anymore because it just works better. So by the time you factor in all those things.
Well, and I switched from a very high fluoride toothpaste for sensitive teeth to SunSmile. And I thought, well, we'll see how this goes. And I was just amazed that my teeth, the sensitivity didn't come back, and I don't have to worry about the chemicals in it. If I swallow it, I'm okay. And I've even just rubbed the toothpaste on my gums sometimes at night, and it's helping them.
Awesome. Awesome. So we're going to use an average of $100 a month. Okay. So to be super realistic, to build a business with. And then how many people would you talk to? So let's say you guys were new and I said to you, so if there was these products that change your life, that you couldn't live without them, how many people would you bring it up with every 3 months? What would be an
And
average?
definitely 10. If we're talking about before lockdown, definitely at least 10. Because,
Right?
yeah.
And that was always the average answer. It was always 8 to 10. People would say, oh yeah, I could easily talk to that, every 3 months, maybe more. Some people say 50 and or 100 or whatever. You get these big numbers. So we're going to use 1. How's that? Is that realistic enough? So here's 3 years cut up into quarters, or here's 1 year, I should say. This is year 1. And you sponsor 1 person in the first quarter of this year. And then that person eats the foods and comes to a meeting or whatever. And they sponsor 1 person in the second quarter. So now there's 2. And then they each tell 1 person in the third quarter. And maybe they have to talk to 10 people or whatever, but let's say, and they sponsor 1 person. So now you have 4 in the third quarter. And in the fourth quarter, you've got 8 because it doubles the game. And the interesting thing is that 8 doesn't sound very exciting, but it's still good. It's the start of building a foundation is what it takes to build this business. It's like a building coming out of the ground. It takes forever. And then once it comes out of the ground, it moves fast. And so in the second year, now it goes 16 and then 32 and then 64 and 128. And that's why it's so important to be kind of organized, and you got your simple little information. You always want to have a simple presentation to show people. And so 64, 128. And by this time, you've got people in other cities and stuff because everybody knows someone somewhere that you don't know. And then the third year, 256, 512, 1,024. See, it just goes really fast if you get your people telling 1 person. And it's just getting organized like that and always showing them the potential. So 2,048 by the end of 3 years. And my business pretty well grew like that. And if you calculated that, 2,048 people consuming $100 a month, that give you a volume of $204,800 in a month. And if it was about 7% would be a really good average. These days in the marketing program, it's usually, 7 to 9%. And this kind of an organization, but we're going to use 7 to be super realistic. So that would pay $14,000, $336 a month. So of course, this is example purposes only, but that just gives you an idea. So it's important to always show some way for them to understand the business and how it happens slow and steady. It can turn out to be something significant. So there's your choices. Customer, $25. Part-time business person is $77, and it's the same for full-time person, $77 Canadian. And a lot of us, we love the vitality analysis, and that's not a Sunrider program, but we love using it because it really helps solve problems. And it can really take all the guesswork out. So I really like it. And I really like it for figuring out food sensitivities because it can really change people's wellness. So I wanted to just kind of show you that. Did you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Simple and sweet. I didn't count the pages. It's more than 13. But it's simple and to the point. And that's all it really needs to be said. But anyways. So any comments before we wrap it up tonight?
Did everybody hear what the 2 new products were from the Love Share Grow meeting? Did everybody hear what the 2 new Sunrider products are going to be?
No, I was not able to get on it.
Oh, you weren't.
One is going to be a version of vitamin D3,
Okay.
and it'll come in 1,000 international units or 5,000 international units. The 1,000 is for what age group? The younger?
Doesn't, actually, it's,
Doesn't really matter,
doesn't
but I think
matter. It's good for both.
generally people our age, 5,000 would be what we use.
Okay.
And the other product is Candescent for kids, gentle hair and body wash. So
Okay.
it can wash their whole bodies. It doesn't irritate their eyes. Fresh scent, doesn't dry their skin because you're always watching kids. Or you want something that keeps their skin smooth and soft.
So I'm assuming it'd be good for animals too.
Oh yeah, I'm
Yes,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
For our new grandbabies, Peggy.
That's right. For your new grandbaby, Barb.
And Peggy's.
Oh, that's right.
Peggy and Lauren have one
And
too.
Linda's. There's 3 of you guys on the call that have got new babies in there.
Yeah.
We have one on the way.
We have one due tomorrow. Our first grandchild is due tomorrow, so.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
awesome.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
baby explosion.
Congratulations.
That'll change your life completely with grandkids.
Now, Jim, was this vitamin D coming into Canada now, or is that down the road?
We
too?
don't know. It like Ruben said, he goes, as far as Canada, I'm not sure how long that's going to take. But, I'm sure they'll put an effort into trying to get it in.
So do you know which products that we still may get yet in the near future?
The only one that I know for sure they're working on is Protein Plus.
Okay.
And that one, it's so ridiculous that it's taking this long. It's not Sunrider's fault. It's just the way that the healthcare system is. And now with COVID, it's probably everything is slower. But you take a look at a product like Protein Plus, and all the ingredients have been okayed. So you've got ingredients from New Plus, and then you've got pea and rice protein. But it's like, oh no, you guys put them in your own kind of like way of combining those together. So now we need to know all the facts to make sure it's safe.
When we did the show in Toronto last November, Cheryl, Gail, who else was there? Finn. Anyways, we met the lawyer that works for Sunrider in getting our products registered. And she is just as frustrated as what Dr. Chen is.
Yeah.
Well, I think Ruben said that Canada is the hardest one to get the products into.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we're lucky we got so many great products already. So for the few we don't have, it is what it is. But eventually, I'm pretty hoping we'll get Protein Plus in this new product. If the Chins are so excited about bringing out D3, then it's clear that it's going to be beneficial.
Well, also, once all the COVID and everything leaves, we can make a road trip and go get some. To a nice little warmer climate, because this isn't always going to be pretty.
Yeah, Canada's soon going to look just like your picture there. I'm not sure if that's snow on the ground.
All the snow and all the cold. Oh yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, I think we should wrap it up. It's been fun. Been great visiting with you guys, and we will talk to you soon.
And send us the recording that you did do.
I will. I'll send it up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thank
Okay,
you.
good night, everybody.
Yeah,
Right.
great.
Right.